Welcome back, Salty Fam. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. So today we are going to get into all the Bravo Labs who've been mentioned in the Epstein files thus far.
Yeah, and it's quite a few of them, and it's interesting kind of how they come up.
Yeah.
Some are very you can tell it's not really them doing anything, and some are like, this is a little sketchy.
Right. So first we have Southern Charm producer Whitney Sudler Smith. So he is also on the cast here and there on Southern
Yeah.
Charm. Like, I wouldn't say he's in every episode, every season.
No, and it's never like the story is never a main plot line about him.
Right, right.
Kind of thing.
And he kind of like this season is like the grandpa of the group,
Yeah,
kind of the
for
dad,
sure.
making sure everyone's getting along.
Yeah, trying to keep the peace.
Yeah.
And his mom is they're both like matriarch, patriarch figures
Yes.
on the show, kind of.
Yeah, Patricia's. Yeah, so the show really does kind of revolve around them, but not really.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah,
It's an interesting dynamic. So there was a reference to a 2014 email where unidentified individual reports a dinner with Whitney and the cast to Epstein.
No, you wonder who all was there.
Yes. So let me see. I believe they state, let me find it. Okay, so they state that the year would have coincided with the premiere of the show, which had a cast that included Craig Conover, Cameron Eubanks, Jenna King, Thomas Ravenel, Shep Rose, and Whitney. So it's unclear as to who actually attended the dinner, but that is the season that we are thinking they're referencing in this email. And so this person kind of relays what they kind of did at dinner. And Whitney was talking about a proposed TV project. Is it pronounced Tarzinias?
I think Sarzinias? I don't know. Yeah.
It's Tzarinas.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm sure that's like a Russian word for princess or something,
Yeah, maybe. And it's about Russian girls in New York. And a suggestion of participant met previously described as too boring and cared only about being skinny. So Whitney was like complaining about a Russian girl that they had like provided for him.
It was too boring and too skinny. And like
Yeah.
pitching this show, he's like, oh, it'd be the Russian versions of like a housewife or something
Yeah.
kind of thing.
It's interesting. And obviously that didn't ever come about.
No, and it's weird that the guy who went to dinner with them is like reporting back to Jeff Epstein. Like,
Yeah.
hey, this is what we like. Oh, great. So he's like, it's just so.
From my understanding, like people were kind of groveling
Yeah, that's what it
for
seems
his
like.
attention. And like maybe he really promoted like a lot of like
He was like
emails
the
and a lot
networking
of
guy.
like
or
let me
something.
know every detail that you encounter kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's kind of giving that.
It's
'cause
weird.
Hundreds of people are just like emailing him about
Other people, and this is what we talked about, and this is what we were
Yeah.
doing. It's like, it's so strange.
it is. It's very interesting. And so now we have Carole Radziwill. So she is Real Housewives of New York City. Now she is coming back for a friend of for this new season coming up for New York. And a lot of people are very upset because she is mentioned in the Epstein files the most out of all of the Bravo Lebs. And even Ghislaine Maxwell noted her as her BFF.
Which is crazy. And wasn't there something like there's a picture of her like in her apartment?
A framed photo of Carole in Ghislaine's apartment.
Which is crazy. So she definitely seems like the one who is the most mixed up with these people. And
Yeah.
she probably knew everything that was going on.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
know?
heard that everyone who's an elite and knew of Jeffrey knew what he was up to.
Yeah.
And they all just was like, turned a blind
They're
eye.
just like,
and-
oh, he likes to party, I guess. It's like
Yeah.
crazy, Like,
yeah.
and so, she for sure knew if the woman's got photos with her and they're like
Yeah.
BFFs. Like,
and shown multiple times together at parties, multiple times at Ghislaine's house. She also was involved in Carole's book and took the photos for Carole's book that she released.
Which is crazy.
Also, the last season that Carole was on Real Housewives of New York, the ladies, remember, claimed that she was a pedophile.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. You know, on the show, she's like so judgy and acting like she's like such a, you know,
Yeah.
just a judgy person. But then it's like, oh, but you're best friends with like human traffickers. Like,
Yeah.
zip it, lady.
It's pretty crazy. And all of us were a little confused when that came out because that was like 10 years ago. But now the timing with it being with Jeffrey Epstein and everything, it all makes sense. You know, we were all like, what? And so it does play on the elites know what's going on and we don't until like a decade after, you know. It is pretty wild. So then Carole has multiple emails with Ghislaine showing affection, FedEx shipments, FBI notes on contact book entries, and event invitations.
So they were like close.
Yeah.
You know?
So Maxwell's emailing, calling Radziwill her most wonderful, most beautiful, the smartest, the best, the brightest.
Man, she's really buttering her up, you know?
Yeah. And this one's weird. In 2005, it was "Good morning, you and Minnie."
Yeah, it's like, what the?
That is weird.
I wonder, was that...
Carole doesn't have kids.
Was that... Okay, so that was to Carole or that was from Carole?
That was to Carole.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, she for sure seems like the most wrapped up and just like... I don't know. It'd be hard to have plausible deniability with her that you had no idea.
Yeah.
This guy was a total freaking like...
Carole responded...
Crazy power ring thing, you know?
Carole responded with like... no more emails, no more calls, no more like texting me, like good night, you know, after she mentioned that Minnie thing.
Dang.
You know.
So she was like, the block's hot, cut it off.
Right? Like, yeah, kind of like a denial thing.
They all knew, you know.
It's weird.
That is.
And then there was involvement in the filmmaker project donation in a 2007 Daily Mail article on a party. So they do have a lot of like
just a long history of being close. You know? So she knew what was going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Caroline Stanberry. Now, she was called out for this, I believe, on one of the reunions, and she did admit to knowing Epstein and being friends with all of them. And she dated Prince Andrew for a hot second.
Who's like the number one client that everyone knows about of Epstein, who's a pedo, you know?
It's awful.
It
just like ruins it for you when you know all of this about them.
It does. Well, and just, you know, with her and even the new ladies of London, all of them seem like the type of people that would be clamoring to go to his island, even though they know everything horrible going on there, just because it's the who's who of power and they just like want to be by power.
I heard this like European princess said that if you didn't know Epstein personally, you were considered a loser amongst the elites. And I'm like, that's not good.
It's crazy.
Like that is exactly what is wrong with what is going on. You know, that is crazy. Like held to the highest and is like, praised.
Oh no, the pedo doesn't like me.
Right.
What am I going to do? It's just crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
It really is. And obviously all of these like crazy things that they do go back like centuries.
Oh yeah. There's always been a Jeff somewhere in the world with way too much power manipulating all this craziness. You know, for sure.
It's pretty crazy.
But she is totally the type who would just...
She would. I could see Caroline being totally okay with stuff.
Would just look past anything to be like, oh, I'm hobnobbing with them. Yeah. You know, even though he's a freaking psychopath.
Yeah.
You know?
I could totally see Caroline being like that. She is
like
definitely
bragging
a
about
climber
it.
for sure.
Yes.
Even though she grew up like very posh lifestyle.
Yeah.
You can tell like she wouldn't want to sacrifice her status for anything.
For sure.
So she was also, like you said, on Ladies of London and Real Housewives of Dubai. And she is amongst high British society, but now she's living in Dubai with her younger husband. FBI emailing suggests an interview in Daily Mail article where friend Lisa Walker states, I met Epstein with Caroline. And then, like I said before, she did,
She's like, we ran the same circles.
yeah, she copped up to it and said that they were all friends.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of her cast, because obviously they used that as like a dig towards her on the reunion.
Yeah.
So a lot of the cast
fair
obviously knew what Caroline was into from the get-go.
For sure.
And it just goes along with the whole like they all know what's going on and
Yeah,
we don't.
it's open secret.
Yeah.
Like,
And then we got Denise Richards. Now, this one was really weird. It's an email with Ghislaine Maxwell setting up something for her nephew.
Yeah.
And it was him picking out 3 actresses that he would want to have sex with. And Denise Richards is listed in
she made the list, made the cut
in the
for
top
whoever
3.
this nephew is.
So it makes me think, is that an agreement that they have with those actresses that they will offer up those, services for, payment?
I don't think it's...
Or are they like going to blackmail and pressure them?
Yeah, I think it's
because
more
that's what the nephew wants.
I don't think it's an explicit agreement thing, but it's like, hey, because they know everybody's just clamoring to be around Jeff. So they're like, hey, if these people were ever around and at an island party, let me know. Kind of, like sort of setting it all up. And then, they probably would record it and blackmail it and all that stuff, But I think it's more that than like an explicit agreement that like any of the people on the list have made with them, kind of thing.
It's interesting. So she like necessarily wasn't really like emailing Epstein.
They were talking about her. She's not in the emails like Caroline or whatever, like an active participant. She just is on the list of the nephew who's like, hey, if any of these girls are in the, the times, whatever, like, let me know. I'll be there.
Right. Then we have another girl, Annabelle Nielsen. She was from Ladies of London, and she actually passed away in 2018.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, which kind of seems a little shady,
a little sketchy. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people end up passing away around him. So 2012 emails with Epstein about potential meetings in New York and Paris, and let's see.
It's just crazy, though. Those Ladies of London love Jeff. They can't wait to meet Jeff.
Yeah.
All of them. They're so into the socialite thing that the devil was there. They'd be like, hell yeah, I want to meet him.
Right.
You know?
Let me look at hers. Okay, so from Jeffrey to Annabelle, where are you? Are you coming to the States? And she previously said, hi, how are you? And then she said, no, I wish, staying in London. So kind of seems like they're pretty friendly, like a friend basis.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely emailing in a way where, like, if they're in the same city, they're meeting up.
Right now, Denise Richards is looking the cleanest out of all of these Bravo
for
labs.
sure.
Like, that looks like another, like, Caroline or Carole.
Well,
like a friendly relationship, and I guess Caroline too.
Yes, and Whitney's is similar to Denise's, where he's not emailing. Somebody had dinner with him and is like reporting back to Jeff, like, "Hey, here's what happened," you know.
So as of now, Denise and Whitney are potentially the good guys out of this situation.
But the New York ladies and the London ladies, they couldn't wait to get to the island. They were hoping to get to the inner circle.
It's just so weird. And then Leah Black. Now, she is very involved, and her husband was very involved. And she is Real Housewives of Miami. And she's a philanthropist. In emails from 2009 to 2016, including LinkedIn requests, event invitations, and family updates. Her husband also was the lawyer for Epstein when he was
so he
first.
for sure knew everything going on.
Yeah, I believe that was back in like 2008.
Yeah.
She said in 2010 she was thinking of Epstein and mentioning the husband's trial and suggesting to say hi at the Ritz and thanks for the gift for their son RJ, that it was unique. And Epstein's response to the visit was great fun.
It's
And they
interesting.
have like a personal relationship as well.
Yeah, it seems similar where like
Yeah.
they would be doing stuff together, you know.
Yeah.
And for sure, if the husband was the lawyer, he had to have known that
Oh, yeah.
everything go like this dude is nuts,
Yeah,
you know.
for sure. And they
He's probably just
still
as nuts,
allowed Epstein to come around their kid,
Yeah,
knowing
right.
what what he had done. You know, that's the crazy part about
I
it
mean,
all.
honestly, working for him, it's probably like being a cartel lawyer or something. They're like showing up to the family, even if you're not, you know, you just like you're giving everything over if you're gonna do business with someone like that. Like,
Yeah. Well, in conclusion, the Bravo Labs that seem to be okay and in the clear that were listed in the Epstein files are Denise Richards and Whitney, and that is because they were not actually emailing. It was them being mentioned in what basically someone was talking about them. So their names were mentioned, but they had no emails back and forth. And the guilty people are Caroline, Annabelle, and Leah Black.
Who do you think's the most guilty?
Carole.
Carol or Caroline?
Carol,
yeah, Carol. Yes, no,
Carol from New
Agreed.
York City is
Agreed.
the person that had the most interactions with Ghislaine and Jeffrey out of all the Bravo
She
Labs.
probably helped Ghislaine get some girls there, and it's gonna be great.
I
It's
think
so
so,
cool.
too.
You're gonna be hobnob. You know, she probably goes deep in there.
Yeah.
That's all speculation, not stating
It's
a claim of fact.
Opinion.
yeah, all
But
opinion.
I think that she definitely
It's
is
not
the
looking
most
good.
guilty.
It's not looking good.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to watch New York City this year. Just 'cause
Well,
she's
we'll
on there.
have to just to see if they're pounding her
Mentioning
with
it,
it. You
yeah.
know, you hope the audience is at least if the show's not going to.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like how Wendy's case was like on the season, it didn't really talk much about it at all. But off the show, it's like people are definitely pounding them. And then even on the reunion, they're like, "You're going to jail, dude. Like this is not good."
So
I think it could be
right
similar.
now, New York is in active production. So yes, hopefully they will mention it because these files have been out during pre-production. So
Oh, yeah.
everyone's seen that she's been in there. Then they announced that she was coming and being a friend of for Roni, and that has just erupted like craziness online, and
Rightfully so.
Yeah,
you
people are
know?
not happy to see her. So I hope that they call her out for it.
Totally. Hopefully they don't just cut her out as a friend of, you know, or something like that. Like hopefully
Yeah.
she's in there and there's some
Like
confrontation about
someone
it.
holds her feet to the fire, or it's going to be like the elephant in the room that no one
Yes.
speaks about.
I mean,
you know?
and it would really just reinforce exactly why Jeffrey Epstein was able to be who he was.
Yeah.
Of just, everyone knows he's a pedophile psychopath, but we all just want to be close to the power and close to the money. So, we won't say anything. You know, it's like
They all protected him in some way.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's just like Diddy and all his people. All his
Yep.
people, they're all like, "Oh yeah, it was horrible, but I stayed for 10 years and made tons of money doing it." It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you knew exactly what was going on. You were
Yeah.
just as much a participant as him.
It is just a wild, wild year already, I would have to say. But hopefully we do not see any more Bravo Labs on any more of these files. And
Please,
hopefully
no.
that is it. You know, Caroline's show, Real Housewives of Dubai, I think that they're on pause, so we won't really be seeing her. Annabelle, as we said, passed away in 2018. And Leah Black, I don't think she'll ever be on Miami again. She hasn't in many, many years.
So Carol's the only one we may see
Yep, Carol.
get her feet
so
held to the fire.
That's who we gotta, yeah.
Hopefully they do it. Hopefully they do it.
Right. Well, like and follow for more, and we'll see you later, Salty fam.